What's up, heroes? My name is Clone, and welcome back to Crystalline. After that last adventure we had here in Raven Pass, let's continue on, end the night, see what our next day brings a hold of us. I second that motion. I'm exhausted, so let's go to bed and start fresh and new.
I know.
She grins, and I could feel a rush of warmth to my face. I guess she saw my yawn. Zack leads the way upstairs, clutching one of the keys. We stop in front of two adjoining doors.
Well, good night then.
Good night. Do I have to share a bed with him? Zack nods. Leanna turns the key and lets herself into the room, then gently closes the door behind her. Zack also turns the key and lets himself into the second room. As I'm about to follow him in, the door slams shut. Great. Very funny. I turn the handle, but it's locked. What the hell? Zack, let me in. He ignores me, so I pound on the door. Come on, let me in. He doesn't answer, but a couple of people poke their heads out of their rooms and glare at me. Let's see here. Be more quiet. Try Leanna's room. Try again. I'm gonna try Leanna's room. This is ridiculous. I knock on Leanna's door. Leanna. She opens the door a crack, then pulls it open all the way when she recognizes me. Her brows are creased with worry.
Is something wrong?
Yeah, Zack's being a jerk. Zack's being mean. Yes, I want to stay with you. Oh. I don't want to get Zack in trouble, but yes, something's wrong. I want to stay with you. No, I was just thinking it'd be nice if we spent the night together. She narrows her eyes and slams the door shut. Damn it. Damn, that's 2 for 2. Worth the shot. I'm gonna be more quiet. Sorry. I gently knock on the door. Very funny. You can open the door now, please. No answer. Try again. I continue hammering repeatedly on the door. I can keep this up all night. Suddenly, the door swings open and I walk in. It's a nice room, actually. The first thing I notice are the 2 twin beds. Zack lounges on one and fixes his stony gaze on me. What do you want? What the hell was that? Why didn't you let me in?
No space.
BS. There are 2 beds. Zack wordlessly walks over to the other bed and pulls back the blankets. Tucked inside the bed are both of his dischargers. Disturbing, yet oddly charming. Not cool, man. Not cool. I go to remove the weapons.
What are you doing?
Gonna sleep in the bed. This is my bed.
But then where will they sleep?
Oh, man. It's adorable, yet funny. I just look at him. Finally, he sighs and collects his dischargers. That's adorable. I lie back in the bed, and as soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm asleep. I hope that asking Leanna if I could join her in the room isn't going to come back to bite me later. I love this music. It's great. It's a nice capstone to everything. I'm rudely awoken by a boisterous yell. As I blink my eyes open, I see the pongo planted on Zack's face. There he is. What's going on? Zack leaps off the bed, continuing his scolding, and the pongo scurries under the pillow. I think you scared him.
Get out of there!
No. He snatches the pillow to reveal the pongo contentedly bobbing over his dischargers. The pongo's eyes are slitted shut, and he wears a silly grin.
Don't even think about it!
Don't do it, dude. He's serious. Zack scoops up his dischargers and forcefully gives them a shake. The pongo's eyes snap open as he wobbles in the air, clinging for dear life.
Toy!
Zack doesn't cease his shaking, and somehow the pongo seems to be hanging on. He's so confused. His small body jiggles up and down until he finally bounces to the floor.
Poi!
Yeah, I know, dude. He glares daggers at Zack, who is too busy inspecting his dischargers to notice. There's a sharp knock on the door, probably Leanna. Barely comprehending what's going on, I shuffle to the door and open it a crack.
I heard yelling. Is everything oh...
She cuts off mid-sentence, and her eyes grow wide. I look behind me and see Zack dangling his chargers in the air while the Pongo leaps up to reach it.
These aren't for you to absorb.
Boy!
Yes, they are.
I'll just wait for you guys downstairs.
See, we wouldn't have had this problem if you would have let me join you last night. Before I can answer, she turns around and walks away. I can't blame her for that. I close the door and start getting dressed. I was wondering what happened to our Pongo friend. A long while later, I emerge from the room with the Pongo sitting on my head. Zack has his dischargers back in their holsters and his shoulders in pack. We head downstairs and meet Leanna, who is waiting at one of the tables.
Is everyone ready?
Yes, coffee first, please. Yep.
Yeah. As long as that thing doesn't come near my dischargers again.
Oh, calm down, dude.
Poi.
They're gonna fight, it's cute. The Pongo sticks out his tongue. Leanna speaks before the two of them can start again.
All right, then let's hit the road.
Good idea. Think the walking's gonna ease out that tension. With one final nod, she leads the way out of the inn and back into town. The rest of the journey towards Illumia is peaceful yet uneventful. The Pongo snoozes on my head for most of the way there. Leanna frequently sneaks a peek at him and smiles to herself. Zack keeps to himself and continues to be in the lead for fewest lines spoken. By midday, I could see the stone buildings of Illumia. We make it through the city gates without incident. Wow. That is a gorgeous cityscape. Just look at that here. Amazing. That's one giant crystal up here. Unlike the quaint houses of Meadow Hill Village, Illumia is built taller and grander. There's more noise as people fills the street. Zack stares down a side street.
This is me.
Bye. I crane my neck and peer into an alcove.
It's a shortcut to the inn.
Okay. Leanna nods.
Safe travels. Hopefully our paths will cross again.
I have a feeling they will.
Good luck at the Mage Academy.
He's oddly pleasant right now. I can tell in his tone of voice. Interesting. He heads into the alley. Do you think we'll see him again? She shrugs.
Mercenaries have a way of just popping up. Let's keep moving. The Mage Academy is straight ahead, closer to the center of town.
Is it that big building that's right behind you? She points to a looming tower with a high steeple. As we get closer, I see that the tower is attached to a castle. Whoa. You studied here?
Yep.
It definitely looks prestigious. She notices my wonder.
What's your academy like?
Lots of books. Stress all the time. Liberal arts college, party school, normal university. Well, I did go to a liberal arts college, so small, yet elegant, quaint, had its own quirks. The campus is a lot smaller. We don't have a big research facility either. But at least that means class sizes are a lot smaller too, so we can get more individualized attention from our professors. Leanna smiles fondly. That's exactly my college experience.
Only those with a natural talent for magic are accepted into the Mage Academy. I learned everything I know about casting from my mentor here.
How many mages are there? That's the big thing.
Hopefully he's here today.
I hope so. Maybe he'll give us the answers we're looking for, at least how to find those answers. We begin making our way down to the grand streets of Illumia. Once we arrive at the academy, Leanna pushes right through the wrought iron gates and leads me across the expansive quad. Wow, like an old style kind of university, something like out of Harry Potter. Students pass by in flocks, chatting animatedly. Each of them wears nearly identical long cloaks, differing only in color. Leanna glances excitedly at a girl wearing a white cloak. Do you know her?
No, but we're in the same house.
Gryffindor. What does that mean?
You can tell by her cloak. White means she's learning wind magic.
Oh, interesting. I pay more attention to the specific colors. There's white, red, blue, and green. I bet I can guess what color represents what. White is wind. Leanna nods. Red is fire. Blue is water. And green is earth. She grins.
You got it.
Yeah. I could be a mage. I could do this too. We walk past an enclosed field. A young man sporting a green cloak holds a book in one hand and with his other hand aims his manipulator straight ahead of him. His mouth is pressed in concentration and beads of sweat line his forehead. After a few tense minutes, the earth rumbles beneath him and spikes shoot up out of the ground. That was awesome.
Come on.
Why? He was doing cool stuff. Leanna pulls on my arm, reverting my attention back to the task at hand, which is where it needs to be. We enter the east wing of the castle and into an open foyer. There are only a scattering of students wandering these halls, and most are accompanied by an adult wearing long black robes. I assume they must be the professors. Leanna scans each professor as we pass, as if looking for someone specific. Nice library. She leads me up a winding staircase, then grins when she spots an older man with graying hair. His robes are pleated with white stripes, and he carries a staff in one hand.
Professor Orin.
Orin, huh? He turns at the sound of his name and matches Leanna's grin.
Leanna, one of my best and brightest. What a pleasant surprise.
Hi, Professor Orin. She smiles bashfully at the compliment.
It's great to see you again.
What brings you to the academy?
Lots of stuff. Me, mostly.
Actually, I'm here on official business.
Official business.
I'm sure you've heard of the random concentrations of magical energy by now.
Of course he has, I hope. He nods. Of course.
Well, I found someone who was directly impacted.
Hi. Siler here. She gestures to me. I shift awkwardly at it as his gaze falls on me. Although he looks intently at me, I can sense his curiosity.
What exactly do you mean by impacted?
I don't belong here.
I was investigating a report of unusual magic energy in Meadowhill, and it turns out the concentrated energy originated from him.
Thanks. Professor Orin raises a skeptical eyebrow.
That level of energy would tear a human apart from the inside. Are you sure you weren't mistaken?
I'm pretty sure she's not mistaken.
My manipulator read the energy level. Maybe we can use the Academy's equipment to scan him again.
You're gonna do what now?
Yes, let's do that.
Do what? He motions for us to follow him, then turns down a hallway. We arrive at Space's room. Little typographical thing there, that's alright. There's a large device on one end of the room, which is separated by a wall of glass. The device has two panels on the side which stretch up about 8 feet off the ground. That's huge. On the other side of the room are a handful of students and professors. They consistently focus their manipulators in what I assume to be magical tests, and every so often jot down notes. A couple of pongos openly roam about the room, mostly ignored by the people. Right, little buddy, you're gonna go make friends. If one wanders a little too close to the crystal, a student chases it away. Otherwise, they leave each other be. I thought you said pongos weren't really welcomed in society. Leanna looks fondly around the room, a reminiscent smile on her face.
They aren't, but mages tend to like them. Pongos absorb residue energy on the mage from casting, which is surprisingly nice. Kind of feels like a gentle massage.
Interesting. Maybe that's why he's hanging around me so much. Professor Orin gives her a soft nudge.
Go ahead.
What are we doing? She nods and turns to me. What are you gonna do?
We're gonna take another scan of you now.
Is this gonna hurt? Please don't let it hurt. You're talking about that huge thing behind the glass, right?
Yeah. It looks intimidating, but it functions the same way as my manipulator.
So it's just gonna get close and go zzz. And I'll be okay? There's not going to be a prick, there's not going to be a poke, nothing's going to hurt? Alright. One of the students leads me to the device and has me stand between the two panels. There's a crystal mounted on top of each panel. As he closes the glass door behind him, a quiet mumbling of voices is muted into silence. Eerie. A beam of soft light emits between the crystals and slowly descends towards my head, passing through my torso and disappearing at my feet. Like a full body scan. Once the light is gone, the same student lets me back into the room. That was quick. Professor Oren looks grave while Leanna's mouth is pressed into a firm frown.
This can't be right. Maybe we should scan him again.
Why, what did you find?
Leanna, the levels that you reported would have killed this young man.
Okay.
Even so, how is it possible that this scan shows he has 0 magical energy?
Is Mr. Pongo still on my head? She holds out her manipulator, just as when we'd first met. A pale light glows. Unlike our initial meeting, as she holds her manipulator closer to me, the light remains unchanged. Interesting. Leanna's face falls. Professor Oren puts a comforting hand on her shoulder.
Had he just cast it? Perhaps it was magical residue which you had read. As you know, that tends to slowly leave the body after each magic use.
True, okay. She shakes her head.
It was too high a reading to just be residue.
Defend Leanna, don't get involved. Well, let's defend her a little bit, of course. Gotta make up for trying to sleep with her last night. The last time Leanna used her scanner thing on me, that little glowy light was pulsing like crazy. Like, it was almost flatlined, it was beeping so much. Professor Oren seems intrigued. There we go.
Then perhaps it was a faulty reading from your manipulator.
I don't think so.
Perhaps.
I can hear the skepticism in her voice. It seemed to be working fine before. Leanna shakes her head as if asking me not to continue. Fine.
I should get back to my students, but I hope I get to see you again.
I'm sure you will. Professor Oren gives Leanna's shoulder one last comforting squeeze before he leaves. While our discussion had been taking place, I noticed the Pongos would watch me with interest. The green one starts to gravitate towards us, I should say. Maybe it's interested in Leanna's magic? But then, why does it look like it's heading towards me?
Polly?
Hi, guy. I look down and see my wobbly blue friend at my feet. Hey, you're back.
Boy!
Hey, where did you go? He bounces on the ground and fixes me with his wide smile. Oh, who can stay mad at him? That's always going to make me smile. Suddenly, he stops and stares at the green Pongo, who blinks back at him. He hops towards it and grins. Hey, a friend!
Poi. Poi, poi. Poi.
That's a manly Pongo voice. Boy. My Pongo's eyes widen.
Poi.
What did he just say?
Poi, poi.
I don't know what's going on. The green Pongo grins and hops away, and my Pongo follows it. I have no idea what just happened, but why do I feel all warm and fuzzy inside? As the Pongos run off, a professor in a wheelchair rolls towards us. Although he's lost all his hair, he doesn't seem as old as some of the others.
Leanna.
Excavia. Is that how you say it? We'll find out soon. She doesn't bother containing her surprise.
Professor Xavier.
Xavier, okay. I get it now. I should have seen that. Pleasure to meet you. The Professor Xavier? What am I thinking? You know what? Those last two were everything that I just felt, but it's a pleasure to meet you. We're being nice here to people. He smiles at Leanna.
It's always nice to see a familiar face.
Thank you. Can we call you Professor X? Then he turns his attention to me. It's nice to meet you, sir.
You as well.
Professor X said
Is there something I can help you with?
Leanna, how high was your original energy reading?
Over 9,000. Wait for it.
In the thousands.
Over 9,000? He creases his brow and ponders quietly.
Tell me, are you familiar with the theory of temporal rifts?
I'm intrigued. Leanna and I both shake our heads.
In the most basic sense, a temporal rift occurs when the fabric of the universe is torn. In the midst of this tear, there is a moment where the parallel worlds overlap.
Go on. Leanna and I glance sharply at each other. Would it be possible to cross between these worlds?
It may be in theory, but it'd be very difficult. After all, that type of travel between worlds would require an immense amount of energy, an amount that no human would be able to manipulate and survive.
So, are we saying our Pongo friend ripped a fabric in space and time and helped me cross?
That's why most elders have dismissed this as nonsense. But listening to all that's been said today, it coincides quite closely with this theory.
He's not wrong. It's really close to this theory, but the question still remains. Who would have created this spell to cause this tear? Or this rift, this temporal rift? For the first time since we arrived at the school, I begin to feel a glimmer of hope. What more can you share about this theory?
Well, not much, I'm afraid. As I said, most consider it to be either nonsense or too inconsequential to waste their time on.
But not all. Who do we need to go to that didn't consider it nonsense or inconsequential?
Although there is one man who spent his life developing and researching this theory. He used to be an instructor of this academy.
Is he still in Illumia?
Unfortunately, he left many years ago in search of Ember Mist.
What's Ember Mist? Leanna purses her lips.
The hidden city.
Is this kind of like, Atlantis? He nods. If it's hidden, I'm guessing it'll be hard to find. Before he can respond, a student with 2 long pigtails strides over.
Please allow me to accompany you on your quest.
Who are you? Why is your hair pink? What's that coming out of your hair? Amelia Estella. Professor Xavier replies sternly.
Absolutely not.
Why?
Could you elaborate on your disapproval? This is an excellent opportunity to further my research and education.
Why does she sound like a robot?
This is not a Mage Academy sponsored expedition, so there won't be mages around to protect you. It's a dangerous journey, especially given the fact that no one knows the location of Ember Mist.
Hey, Leanna? Who is she? Do you know her? 'Cause I don't. The girl stays silent, and I could practically see the cogs in her head spinning as she contemplates his words. Finally, she nods.
Understood.
As soon as she finishes speaking, she turns on her heel and walks away. What just happened?
Pay her no mind. That's just how she is.
Okay. Who is she?
That's Amelia Estelle, the
Estelle.
university's prodigy. She's only a teenager, but already a mage caster, which means she can manipulate 2 different elements at the same time.
I'm gonna guess based on her clothes it's fire and wind. I flash her a grateful smile for automatically explaining what a mage caster is. I'm guessing mage casters are usually a little older than a teen? Leanna grins.
Just a little. Most mage casters are in their 40s.
Wow. My eyes widen. She must really be something special then.
Anyway, thank you for all of your help, Professor.
Thank you. It gives us kind of a bit of a lead.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to be more helpful, but I wish you the best of luck on your journey.
Thank you, sir. After saying goodbye, his wheelchair moves on its own and pushes him out of the room. Whoa! Did his wheelchair just move by itself?
Not quite. He's using wind magic to push it along.
Ah. The more I see magic in use, the more I wish I could use it.
What did you think of everything the professor said?
It sounds exactly like what happened to me. We should find this Ember Mist city and talk to the professor there. She nods.
Unfortunately, no one knows how to get there.
Let's find a way to get there.
Let's stop by the inn. Since it's a hub for travelers from all over, there's bound to be someone who knows something.
That's a good point. You make a good point. That sounds like our best course of action. Once agreed, Leanna leads the way out of the academy. I follow her through the twisting roads of Illumia. When asked why we were taking so many turns, she said she wanted to avoid the marketplace, which would be so crowded with people we wouldn't be able to walk through. Soon, we reach the inn. The place is a lot larger than any other inn we've stayed at so far. Well, duh, it's a bigger city. Along with the smoothly crafted dining tables, there's a fireplace along the far wall with labeled jars on the mantle. The place is fairly busy for this time of day, and only a couple of tables are open. Per usual, Leanna speaks with the innkeeper. I see him point towards a couple by the fireplace. When she returns, she drops a key in my hand.
Here's the key to your room. I figured we're going to be spending the night here.
Probably. I nod as I pocket my key.
The innkeeper doesn't know how to get to Embermist, but he says that couple comes from the far desert. They might know.
Well, that's going to be a good lead as any. Maybe we should split up. We can cover more ground that way.
Good idea. I'll go talk to that couple first.
And I'm going to go do something else. Next time, we'll see what our next adventure is going to lead or what leads we can get on Embermist. As always, if you did enjoy the video, let me know by hitting the like button down below or leaving a comment. If you're new to the channel, unleash your power by hitting the subscribe button down today as well. And I will see all you heroes in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.